Hello everyone, and welcome to Hot Tips for the Working World. We're going to show you the different tips and techniques that will help you to get a job. I'm Chrissy Dorey, career coach with LA County Office of Education.
Hi, and I'm Vendon Smith. I'm also a career coach at the Los Angeles County Office of Education. Chrissy, one of the reasons why we're doing this webcast is because, first of all, no one teaches these techniques. And so there are a lot of people out there who are looking for work, trying to transition back into the workforce.
Absolutely.
So our goal is to give you a competitive advantage over other job seekers.
So we have several clips that we're going to be showing you different techniques for the different interviewing phases. In our first clip, we're setting up how to arrive at an interview.
Right.
How do they see you when you first enter?
We're going to start this off by showing you how you probably shouldn't arrive.
I'm here for an interview, but I'm sure they're already waiting for me. I can find them. Thanks. Hi. Hey, are you the guy? Hi, I'm
Yes.
here.
How are
Made
you?
it. Nice to see you. All right. Oh, nice seats. Okay. I'm ready. Let's get the show on the go. You're the first one of the morning.
Where should we start with this one? Ooh,
That was bad. Okay, let's start from the beginning.
the very top.
Okay.
Okay.
First of all, it looks like she was running in a tad bit
Late.
too late. Little tardy.
Absolutely.
Little tardy.
Absolutely.
And then did you also notice how she kind of ran past the receptionist?
No acknowledgement whatsoever, which is a no-no.
The interview starts in the parking lot.
And the receptionist, we all know, is the detector. She's going back to tell the employer everything.
Right.
So acknowledgement is key.
Right. I mean, she's the key to the gate. And so if you don't acknowledge her, then most likely, it's not going to bode well for you.
Right. And did you see the security? They probably was ready to chase after her because they're like, wait, you didn't check in with us.
Right. And then she gave a LeBron James handshake of some sort.
Those are the things that you should not do. You have to not come as in casual wear. You have to make sure that you are professionally and ready to go. So,
Let's take a look at the second clip and see if we can give you a better idea of how you should enter the interview.
Hi, I'm here for an interview. I have an appointment.
Great. If I can ask you to please sign in.
Thank you.
Have a seat right over that area, and somebody will be with you in just a moment.
Thank you.
now that was a little bit more like it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
She came in nicely dressed, not rushing.
And it also appeared that her attitude was different. She had time to even sit down and kind of collect her thoughts.
Absolutely. To prepare.
So you always want to make sure that you get to the interview in time enough to relax so that you appear to be calm and collected when it's time for your interview to begin.
Let's see how she looks when she enters the office.
Hello.
How are you this
I'm
morning?
doing well. Thank
Good.
you.
I'm Vendon Smith.
Laura Uribe.
Nice meeting you. Please be seated. So, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Notice her posture, her confidence was better in this clip, don't you think?
I agree. Her posture was great, but I also agree that her handshake was better.
Absolutely.
And and she also appeared to be, again, a little calmer and prepared to answer tough questions. So, did you notice the question? Tell me something about yourself. That's one of the most important questions in the interview because it actually kind of sets the tone for the interview. So, but it also can be kind of tricky. So, let's see how she responds. So, why don't you tell me something about yourself?
Well, I grew up with a really big family. Do you have a big family? I'm sure I don't have to tell you what an animal house that is, but it was a lot of fun. After elementary school, middle school, high school, didn't always work out so good. It was a really good time though. I did eventually get my GED and really got things together, worked off and on here and there. When I went to college, wow, what a change. I mean, who doesn't love college, right? I did start off with a couple of majors. My English major, which means I'm really good at spelling. I didn't really stick with nursing too long. Who could really stand all of that blood? Psychology maybe helped a little bit, but sometimes you don't really want to know that much about yourself. You know what I mean? And did I mention that I have some pets? Oh, you would just love them, I know. Sometimes they do need a little extra medical attention. Some of them are a little bit old. You guys offer or give time off, right? So after college, I did
What is that?
Oh, that must be my new perfume. Isn't it great?
Okay, wow. What a train wreck.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with some of the obvious. Well, first of all, people do this, and I was kind of joking around in the clip where you noticed that I was kind of falling. It looked like I was falling asleep. But you noticed that it didn't deter her at all.
Absolutely not.
So one of the things that you should notice is the body language of the person
employer
that you're speaking with.
Yes.
If you're speaking with them and you can tell that you've lost them, then you probably rambled on too much.
Right. The demeanor tells everything.
Right.
And the employer was falling asleep, looking up at the sky, just not even interested. So the engaging of that interview was lost.
Most times people are so, they don't do well in this process because they don't practice.
Right.
They're going to ask you, tell me something about yourself, so why not prepare something to say?
And like you said, when you're preparing, you also need to make sure that you are dressed, but you also need to make sure that everyone cannot take your cologne or perfume. So you may want to just not wear anything.
I mean, I always say right out of the shower is like the best way to go.
So we're going to show you a better way to answer that tough question.
Well, I graduated from Cal State Long Beach with a bachelor's degree in sociology.
Good.
And after school, I started working in customer service. So I have 4 years of customer service. I started off in retail, so I have a lot of experience with sales, really working with a variety of customers. I also have a couple of years experience working in a school, so I have experience working with students of all ages.
So you went from retail to education?
Yes, I just love working with people.
I see. So why'd you pick this company? Why do you want to work for us?
Well, I saw that this company would allow me to work with customers. I really enjoy engaging with different people, and I do really well with speaking to just a wide variety of people from the community.
Outstanding, outstanding. Are you bilingual?
I am. I speak Spanish fluently, and I write as well.
I like that.
That was
that
great.
was awesome.
Now, what I really enjoyed is that she did kind of give me an overview of her work experience. I really appreciated
Yes.
that. And then she talked about some of her skills. And then she also was very, very positive. She had great eye contact.
That's what I was going to say.
And
yes.
I love
yes.
her positive energy.
Absolutely.
Employers, again.
And her confidence is just exuding.
That's right, because employers are looking to like you. One tip that I think that you should be aware of is you already know that they're going to ask you, tell me something about yourself. Why not be prepared for the process?
Right.
Oftentimes, people are not prepared because they don't practice.
Absolutely. And they may want additional strength, so you need to be prepared and ready to answer that question as well.
I'm glad to hear that you're bilingual. It sounds like that's one of your strengths. Can you also give me a list of some of your additional strengths?
Yes, I'm also great at multitasking. I work really well at a fast pace and being able to get things done. I really pay attention to deadlines, so being able to meet deadlines is very important to me.
So, again, I believe the interview is broken up into 3 main questions. You have, tell me something about yourself. What is your greatest strength? And what is your greatest weakness? So let's see how our interviewee handles the weakness question. So now that I have a list of some of your strengths, could you please give me maybe one of your greatest weaknesses and what are you doing to overcome that weakness?
Well, I've learned that my biggest weakness is computers. I'd never had a strong foundation for computers, so I signed up for some additional classes and started learning about Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and how to apply those skills in the working world. I learned that there's nothing to fear about computers, and I actually really enjoy using them in every job that I've had since then.
Perfect. There are really two rules to the weakness question. The first rule is never admit a weakness without an explanation.
Right.
Because, they're going to hear the weakness first, and then they're going to use that against you.
Right.
The second rule to the weakness question is don't say you don't have any weaknesses, because everyone has something that they're working on.
Right.
After all, an employer doesn't care that you have weaknesses.
Right.
They care that you know what the weakness is,
You're able
and
to
you're working
identify
to
it.
identify it, and you're working to resolve that issue.
Right.
Okay. She did a wonderful job
She did.
with how she responded. She told us that computers was a weakness, but she also talked about how she's resolving that issue and actually turning that into a strength. So employers are always concerned about gaps in employment. And the reason they are is because they're actually looking to build a relationship. They're looking for a consistent relationship.
Right.
So oftentimes when they're looking at your resume, they'll be checking for gaps in employment, and they may require you to provide an explanation. So one of the things that I've noticed here on your resume is that in your last position, you was only there for a short time. Can you tell me why you left so soon?
Yes, well, that was a temporary position to begin with, so the contract did end. And after that ended, I got into some volunteer work at a high school near me, where I was working with the students as a mentor in the classroom, and I worked with the parents in community outreach.
I see. Okay, so that makes sense. So here I also noticed that there was a little gap between, of more than a year actually, between your last employment and the position prior to that. What happened there? Why the gap?
Well, I did take some time off to care for a family member. However, that situation, thankfully, is past. And so now I've started with the volunteer work, and now I'm really looking to get back into the workforce full time.
Okay, great.
Now, how our interviewee handled the gap in her employment was great. A lot of times people don't understand that volunteerism, as well as self-employment, as well as other additional works that they have done, that can fill the gaps into their employment. So it kind of works in their favor if they're not afraid to show and articulate that they've worked in additional areas.
Right. I also think that it's important that you kind of solve that in your resume. The employer was looking off of your resume.
Right.
So you could actually eliminate gaps in your work history on your resume,
right,
so that it doesn't even come up in the interview.
Right.
So that's a tip. When you're doing your resume, do it without gaps, or fill in gaps with, again, like Chrissy said, with volunteerism, also with supplemental income or work that you've done on your own, self-employment. Those are ways, or volunteerism, those are ways to fill gaps in employment. If you put that on your resume, then oftentimes it won't even come up in the process.
Absolutely.
So then you don't have to explain it. Now, if you know you have to explain it, be prepared to explain your gaps in employment, just like our interviewee did. Learning something about the company is vitally important. Okay? Here's why. Employers are always concerned about motive and why you're actually looking for employment. This is why it's difficult for those of you who have you're a college graduate and you take your resume into McDonald's, and then your feelings are hurt because McDonald's doesn't consider you. Well, that's because they believe that they don't know why you're applying at this company when you have so many qualifications. It doesn't make sense to them. So it's important that you learn something about the company so that you can intelligently speak about why you want to work for that organization.
Absolutely.
This next clip shows how our interviewee handles that question. So with all of your great experience, why did you choose our organization? Why would you like to work with us?
Well, I did a little research for this industry, and this company really stood out from the others as far as the type of services that they provide, the forward-thinking direction that this organization has. They've been really innovative. I know people who've worked for this company in the past, and they had nothing but wonderful things to say. I think with my history of customer service, I would be really happy working for this organization.
Wow, that was awesome. That is such a key value point that you need to know. When you go to an interview, you always need to research the company, because you need to know what their mission, core values are. So it can be a one-on-one type of energy. You know what I mean? One has to want each other. It's like a cohesive team wanting each other, like a basketball match.
I like that. And I love how you draw the correlation between interviewing and relationship building.
Right.
Companies want people who like them.
Absolutely.
You know, so, and if you're interested in someone, then you find out other things about them. In other words, you dig a little deeper.
Right.
So in other words, if you go to Popeye's Chicken to apply, and all you can say is that they have good chicken, then that company is not going to be impressed.
Right.
That's just like me complimenting a person who has blue eyes about their blue eyes. They've heard that their entire life.
Right.
But if you talk about the core values and you talk about their mission, you talk about those things that other people don't delve into, then it gives you a competitive advantage, and it makes you look different from everyone else.
It sets you apart.
It sets you apart.
Absolutely. Every employer is going to ask, do you have any questions for me? Sometimes people are so nervous, they like, no, I don't have any questions. But you always should have at least 3 good questions to ask the employer. Look at this clip and see how this young lady took on the task of that.
So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, how did you get your job? How much money do you make? How soon can I move up with this company? What about my vacation? I'm gonna get that right away, right? And I really need health benefits. Do you cover dental? You don't happen to know my friend Johnny, right? He used to work here and he did not get along with the other guy. Can I get advance pay before I start? What kind of childcare do you offer? Because I'm really gonna need that.
That was a no-go.
You notice that she started talking about benefit questions.
Right in the beginning.
Right in the beginning.
That's what.
Now, but she's not a member of the team yet. So you don't get to talk about benefits until you become a member of the team.
Absolutely.
You know, so as a tip, we recommend that you don't ask questions about benefits until you actually get into the relationship. That would be like us going on a first date.
Right.
And then I give you a list of the things that you have to do when we're married.
Right.
That's
Jumping the
unacceptable.
gun.
You're jumping the gun.
Right.
So the interview is your opportunity to sell yourself to the company.
Absolutely.
So you should focus on questions that allow you to sell yourself and talk about what benefits, how you will benefit the organization.
Right. Okay. Here we go. We're coming out of her rambling of the bad things and personal things that she wanted to ask. We're going to show you good questions that you need to ask when you're being interviewed.
So do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I mean, this is a really great opportunity. So I'm wondering, why is the position available? And also, what does the training look like for new employees?
Well, she was straight to the point. She didn't have to ramble and ask 15, 20 questions. She got straight to the point because she knew exactly what she wanted to ask.
And that also gives, you an opportunity to kind of sell yourself back as well. Because what's going to happen is, after they respond, then you have an opportunity to show them how you meet the need.
Right.
Oftentimes, one of the questions that wasn't on here that I ask is, what is your ideal candidate, or what are you looking for in a person that you hire for this job? Then what happens is they'll tell you what their real need is, and then you have the opportunity to let them know how you meet those needs.
Right.
After all, this is your last opportunity to sell yourself before the interview concludes.
Right, and it also can help you with knowing about the company as well.
That's right.
Because with knowing the company, you'll be able to acquire and identify and be able to engage in great questions to let the employer know that you're excited, you're enthusiastic, and you've been paying attention throughout the entire interview.
And it will also give you a competitive advantage over other job seekers, and that's the whole goal of our show.
Absolutely.
As the interview comes to a conclusion, you have one more opportunity to sell yourself, and that's in your closing comments. Let's take a look at how our interviewee handles this closing comments. Again, remember, this is your last opportunity to sell yourself before you walk out the door. So this concludes our interview. But before you go, I just want you to know how much we appreciate having you come in to meet with us.
Well, thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. And I hope I've proven to you that I'm the best candidate for this job. I'm very passionate about the work that this company does, and I really look forward to having the opportunity to work here. Before I go, do you have a business card so that I could follow up with you?
Oh, yes, no problem. Here you go.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.
Best closure ever. I loved how she ended her interview.
Me too.
She was very excited, but she also was still confident, and she reverbed and gave back what they were discussing, how passionate she is about this position. And she also, what a lot of people forget to do, is ask for a business card, because that's how you do your follow-up. A lot of times employers say, a lot of times they don't pick the candidate because they drop the ball with the follow-up.
Some of you will also wonder when you should follow up. I believe that you should follow up, within a couple of days, unless they give you instruction to do it longer than that. Remember, employers are really busy. The only reason that an employer is hiring is because they lost someone or they're growing. So they may not have time to call you back immediately. So help them out by giving the follow-up call. That'll let them know that you're still interested. It'll also let them know that you're enthusiastic about the position.
Upon your follow-up, make sure you send them a thank you email to let them know that you are so appreciative of them taking a time out of their busy day to interview them on that particular day. We hope that these clips on these tools and techniques that we've given you will help you out as an interviewee to land that job, go out there with confidence, and enjoy what you're capable of doing, because you have the skill set and you have the experience to get a job in the workforce.
Now, in the future, we're going to come back with some things that we didn't get a chance to cover in the interview. So we're going to talk about different types of interviews, like panel interviews, group interviews, the online application process, how to answer supplemental questionnaires, assessments, those types of things that we hope to come back, or we're going to come back and give you some tips on how you can be successful. Again, our goal is to give you the competitive advantage over other job seekers.
We hope you come back and join us to get more tips and tools and techniques for our next installment of Hot Tips for the Working World with Chrissy
and Vendon.